it's like your perspective, like if secrets keep you sick and that's what's keeping this eating disorder alive, then I'm going to talk about it with her. Be open. I'm already so honest and maybe too honest, but and talk about my personal life all the time, but that's my personality. I learned from other women that were bulimic. It was weight was lifted off my shoulders when they spoke about it to me. It's like I'm not the only one. So if I could just impact one person who's watching that's suffering, it would be enough. I call it like a light switch, like turn the light switch on. They don't have to live like this anymore.
This is the Recovery Guide podcast with Michael Herbert, where powerful stories and actionable insights empower individuals on their recovery journey to build resilience and make a lasting impact. I'm glad you're here, so let's get started. Today's guest is Jules Forrest. She's a lifestyle entrepreneur, philanthropist, and former Real Housewives of New York cast member known for her authenticity and heart. As a proud eating disorder advocate, she uses her platform to help women. It's a powerful and vulnerable conversation, and I know you'll be moved by it. Let's get started. I'm here with my friend Julianne from 2000. I've known Julianne. I've known you since 2002, mm-hmm. Right?
I was 22.
But I knew you as Julianne Forrest, but now you've gone to, you almost like Cher, because they call you Jules now.
Jules, yeah. No one really called me Jules back in the day. It's like a new thing after college. Mm-hmm. But I am back to Julianne Forrest.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Has a nice ring to it.
I like that name. I've always liked that name better anyway.
Thank you.
One of the things that I do, obviously, I'm an addiction counselor and I've been working in the field for 35 years. And this podcast in general is about an individual's way to get into recovery. There's no prescription of you have to do X, Y, and Z.
No.
You've got to probably try 1,000 things and find the 5 things that work for you.
Right.
And so I know that you're in recovery, and your recovery is more eating disorder recovery.
Yeah.
So I want to just maybe start the interview with one question about your biracial identity. Mm-hmm. And how that has affected your thoughts, feelings about body image, and then maybe get into your eating disorder, how it started, what it was about.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a long one then. Biracial, I don't know if I felt like not normal, American looking, or like there wasn't any segregation that I felt insecure about, but like with my peers. But growing up in a home with 2 different cultures, my mother's Japanese, my father's from Brooklyn, Jewish, opinionated, the typical, and my mother was the poster picture of Tiger Mom, and everything was work hard. You got an A, why didn't you get an A+? A lot of pressure. A lot of pressure, and mm-hmm. I know that they were, because I catch myself doing that with my kids, and they weren't doing anything wrong. It's just the way I received that, and I felt unworthy, and I felt that everything had to be perfect, and I was a swimmer. Competitive swimmer, so I swam morning, before school, after school, and it was my life. I was a pretty good student. When I was around 17 years old, when I got into college, I knew where I was going. I stopped swimming like senior year of high school, and that's when my eating disorder, I guess, flourished, like active. I believe that eating disorders or any kind of addiction start when like you're young, like 10 or 11 years old.
So prior to 17, mm-hmm. you had an eating disorder, or it was just bubbling up?
Yes. Marinating.
Marinating,
yeah,
okay.
Marinating. Mm-hmm. Because, which is interesting because I thought about this morning. When I have a schedule now. I have to keep myself busy because I enjoy it. I feel safe. And when I was swimming and going to school and then swimming again and then dry land, I felt safe because I kept myself busy. I felt in control. The minute I stopped swimming and I had time, I was out of control. And then somehow I learned to develop this eating disorder, or to be active, My eating disorder is bulimia, not anorexia. And they have food in common, but it's kind of completely different, totally different, like the psyche of it, I think. But anyway, I went to college. I never graduated. I went for 7 years. So any doctor friends, I'm like, I went to school as long as you did, 7 years. So don't act so smart. But
and what did you go to school for? What was?
I went to Boston University for just the College of General Studies. Then I went to FIT. What I'm trying to say is, FAU, and then back to FIT, and I never graduated. Having an eating disorder, you can't really, you struggle with keeping commitments and relationships. You're not dependable. You're because you're always hiding something, protecting it, and or you feel bad, or you're very low.
So what about the eating disorder were you hiding? What did you not want people to know?
It's very shameful, It's embarrassing, that you're eating food to feel comfort, kind of like gorging. It's not very like feminine, and or beautiful, which my parents, my friends put me on this pedestal, and it was a lot of pressure. But I just do want to say, like, for me, I can't speak about other people, but for me, because it's personal, I wanted to stay small because I wanted to feel dependent on my parents, like a child. I never wanted to grow up into being a woman, feeling independent, doing my own thing. I felt comfortable, even if I didn't like it, having my mom and my dad take care of me, always. And when I met you at Renaissance, I remember it was my 3rd month, and I had to do outpatient, and I was so upset. I think I was the only one that actually wanted to stay. And I remember my diagnosis was eating disorder, but what's the word? Like what they said why it was. Well, my after treatment. Aftercare program. They wanted me. I was not allowed to speak to my parents. I had to get an apartment by myself, pay for it, no car. And 18 months later, I felt independent, capable, and my body slowly formed in 18 months into a woman's body because I had all of these responsibilities that a woman would. So it was really cool.
What was that like, though, when your body formed into a woman, from a little girl's body to a woman's body?
Well, it was gradual, so I didn't really notice, but I felt good. I remember I was an assistant manager at this really cool boutique. I had all these responsibilities. I could open and close a store by myself. I was 23 years old. I remember, God, back in the day when rent was $500, but I lived in the nicest building in Boca where, like, people like me. I mean, not people like me, but like people that had the same likes as me. It was I couldn't believe it, and I don't know. Like, it's not, I'm not like shapely now. I never will be. I'm my genetics don't work like that, but I just had energy and I felt good and I had confidence, and after 18 months, I was ready to move back to New York City.
So you wound up back in New York City. So part of your story is you wound up in the limelight because you became one of the New York housewives.
Yeah,
What was that like? How did you wind up getting there? and becoming a housewife?
I don't really know, but I was very good friends with Dorinda. We met at...
Now, who is Dorinda?
Dorinda is also on the show.
Okay.
For years, like her and I would go to fashion shows. She would always come to the kids' birthday parties. And one year she got on the show as a newbie. And I guess the production team wanted her to bring on a friend, and someone younger, you know. And she called me and she's like, listen, just do the interview. Because I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm not ready. I have 2 kids, whatever. She's like, just do the interview. It's an experience. You never know who you're going to meet. And who knows if you're going to get on or whatever. And I did. I did the interview and I got on the show, and I didn't know, like, I was like, should I do it? Or it was just so fast that I just said yes. But you know what? My kids were in school from 9 to 3, you know. It gave me that time. It was a good opportunity to start a career or business. You know, I had this dream of, I love wellness and health and making all these elixirs to cure whatever, you know. And it was a good opportunity to, it was called Modern Alchemy. It was a great platform for the drink business.
But I would imagine there's pressure on image and how to look. And if you have an eating disorder, did that trigger the disorder
No,
at
well,
all?
because living in New York City, you do that anyway. You know, like here, I go out to dinner once every 6 months. But, you know, I'm wearing leggings and sneakers, or, you know, there's no pressure. But you're always getting dressed and putting on hair and makeup and going out to dinner. The pressure, there wasn't, I didn't feel, in that way, no, I didn't feel the pressure to do that. I had hair and makeup done every time I filmed. It was really fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was I felt very vulnerable, you know, but I wanted to push myself and do something new. And, I mean, a lot of other reasons, but I had the time.
Is that competitive, though, to be on a show like that with the other women? Are people competing for the star, the limelight in that?
Well, I didn't know, but I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But, you know, the show is very dramatic, and there's a lot of confrontation, which I hate, you know, and it makes me so uncomfortable. And plus, I mean, I knew the other girls, but not as well as Dorinda, and they knew how to bring it on, you know, when the camera's on, and that wasn't authentic to me, so it was very hard, you know. But also there are other scenes and whatever. I just tried to be as authentic as I could.
So you're a really nice person. I can't imagine you doing some of that mean stuff.
I couldn't. And when I had to confront like Bethany or, you know, whoever, it was very uncomfortable. And we don't talk to this day.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no, but yeah, it was challenging, but I kind of liked it. I really enjoyed. I have no regrets. I really enjoyed filming. You know, to push yourself to be vulnerable is really, it made me stronger, you know. And I did speak to my therapist before my therapist in New York about my eating disorder, you know, and really not just the drink business, but he was like, well, do you want to talk about it? I'm like, well, if it comes up, I'm not, you know, I don't know. But I believe that secrets keep you sick. I learned that in Renaissance. And what a big, huge step to talk about this in front of millions of viewers. It didn't feel like it because it's just a camera. But it is really hard to speak about it, especially to people that may or may not understand, you know. I do choose who I am speaking to about it or not, because if somebody is not receptive, I don't have the energy to go back and forth and argue about it, like Bethany Frankel.
Right. So, but when you talk about we're only as sick as our secrets, and secrets are a problem with eating disorders, you kept it to yourself. So if we have women watching the show, or even men with eating disorder, how do they develop a support network or support system where they can talk openly about what's going on with them?
Well, there's Eating Disorders Anonymous. They could go to. There's always one available, or you can go on a Zoom one. But really, like, you don't have to have an eating disorder to talk to somebody about it. If somebody's open-minded, you have like you feel the energy. You know if somebody's receptive and can be supportive. Like, for me, I was just sick and tired of suffering inside. And it's like your perspective, like if secrets keep you sick and that's what's keeping this eating disorder alive, then I'm going to talk about it with her. Be open. I'm already so honest, and maybe too honest, but and talk about my personal life all the time, but that's my personality, and then if people know what you're going through, then you can't get away with little things, little lies, or disappearing for a little bit. They'll call you on it, and it's helpful. So back to signing up for the show and my therapist talking to me about it. If I was gonna be open about it, I learned, from other women that were bulimic. It was weight was lifted off my shoulders when they spoke about it to me. It's like I'm not the only one. So if I could just impact one person who's watching that's suffering, it would be enough. Still to this day, I get thousands and thousands of DMs on Instagram, Facebook. I've gotten letters mailed to me into like apartments that were just an investment. They'll call me of how much I've I call it like a light switch, like turn the light switch on. Giving them the hope or the faith. I hate saying hope, faith that they can they don't have to live like this anymore, because it really is it's torturous. You do go through your ups and downs, but your downs are not as low as they were 10 years ago or 5 years ago or even 3 years ago. Recovery isn't linear, but I feel like there are no mistakes or bad, there's opportunity to, what is the saying? You go through what you grow through, so everything is an opportunity to learn more.
Everything is an opportunity to grow.
Yeah, to grow.
There is no good or bad.
No.
There's just opportunity.
You have to have these like experiences to move to the next level, and I've been through a lot. The kids have been through a lot in the last 10 years, going through getting divorced, moving to Florida, being a single mom, and all the struggles. And it was very scary. I got arrested, But look, I did.
What'd you get arrested
for? I would say self-defense or whatever, but it was the best thing. So listen to this. It was the best thing that ever happened to me, because the judge in New York, COVID, and then his mother passed away, and then it was like so delayed. He wasn't signing the divorce decree. And after that happened, people think, oh my God, because the media only knows if somebody is giving them that information. I was never allowed to speak to them. And because my lawyers, which by the way was the greatest advice, if you defend yourself, you look guilty. The truth always prevails. And you don't want to talk about your personal life. You have children, in the media. And it was really difficult. When I got arrested, I have no idea, First of all, my ex took that and ran with it. I mean, I don't blame him, but our judge in New York City, a week later after that incident, he finally signed our divorce decree, and I won 100% full custody of my kids. So that was winning for me, just like not having to go through a court to do something so simple that like it's freedom. Like I can make a decision on my own. And it was the best thing. So that's kind of like one of those examples, Moving to Florida, I was exiled from New York. I was stripped from everything we knew. The kids were out of school, and to move at 38 years old to move in with my parents, I had $200 in my bank account, and I was les miserables, like suicidal. Not really, but like I remember walking in, and my parents' house, the guest room is right by the garage. I couldn't even make it upstairs to my room, and I stayed there for 6 weeks. It was so. But my attorney said, this is a great move. You're taking the kids. It's only temporary, 8 years ago. But that was April 16th, 2018. And I remember it was, somebody said to me, the universe works for you, not against you, or whatever the saying is. You're going to have to.
Life happens to you, not for you.
Life happens to you, not for you. And I really didn't understand it in the moment. That was April 16th, 2018. April 16th, 2019 was my dad's funeral. My dad and I were best friends, so close. And even if I got to go every weekend from New York, it wouldn't be enough. I got to take care of him. We went through our lowest moments together, and it was my best year in my life with him in our relationship. He really got to understand me finally, which was like a big thing for me, being misunderstood and being,
Well, he didn't get it back in the early 2000s.
No.
He didn't get it at all. I remember the conflicts that you guys had.
So, no. And I think to them, I looked like, a brat because I liked nice things. And, I don't know, I do like nice things, but my intentions were not, not to take advantage, just because I'm a kid or whatever. I'm a girl, especially in New York. But my dad really got to understand who I really was. I could cry. Like it was really a beautiful time. And so we moved that August, he got diagnosed with cancer, and he passed away April 16th. And since then, I don't believe in coincidences. How could that be, And from then on, I started to study spirituality. I'm Jewish, and I'm a proud Jew. But spirituality, I feel like, is a lot different, but the same as religion. But just like what happens when you die, and what's the purpose of your life, and why do these things happen, and what am I here to do, and how. How do I show up like God wanted me to show up? And that was 7 years ago, and I've been studying ever since. And it's just like, there's no wrong way. You just have to be open-minded. And I'm so excited to learn. Like, I want to learn about everything. I can't even sleep because I'm watching YouTube, but those kind of things bring me happiness. And those things help me with my eating disorder in recovery. I meditate. I mean, I'm not like, I feel, because it's so trendy now, like, I'm like the faux spiritual people, that just like want to have a crystal and meditate and do sound healing. But I really, I'm like, how does a rose quartz bring you love? It doesn't make sense. So I really I really enjoy learning the science of it, or quantum physics, and like understanding that the measurement or whatever it is, hertz, is 200 of rose quartz, and then the same thing is 200 for love. And it's just so interesting, and it really heals me, and it really works. You're the one that got me to meditate.
Well, I mean, and that also talks about definition of spirituality. On some level, sometimes religion is believing in what somebody else believes in. Spirituality is believing in what you believe in.
It's connecting with your soul. I don't even know what I believe in, but like I go with my intuition and I feel more authentic than I ever did.
And you're meditating, right? Mm-hmm. You want to do a little trick?
Yeah.
And see if it works. Okay, here's what I'd like you to do. Just sit up and put your tongue to the roof of your mouth, leaving your mouth open, and just breathe through your nose. Just keep breathing.
It's coming. I want to yawn too.
That's the point. If you allow yourself, and maybe because you're on camera, you're not allowing yourself to do it, but if you do that, you're going to create a yawn.
That's interesting.
And in meditation, what we want to do is clear our mind. Mm-hmm. In yawning, we clear our mind just for a second, and we've developed this sense of relaxation. So one of the things that I do before I meditate is I do just that to clear my mind, even if it's for a second, to create a sense of relaxation, and then I get into my meditation. And through the meditation, I also will do that to enhance it. The mind is always working.
Right.
I no longer use the term I'm thinking while I'm meditating. What I'm doing is daydreaming.
Oh.
And I want to capture, sometimes in my meditation, the daydream. Because the daydreaming works for me at times. Gives me ideas, promotes creativity, all of that kind of stuff. So that's just a little trick that I learned.
So I thank God you told me that yawning does, because every time I take a deep breath, 3 big breaths, and then I yawn.
And let me tell you something
and I'm
about
like,
yawning.
I guess that's the biggest breath, but I
if you
but I don't
yawn,
know why. Mm-hmm.
And me and you are having a conversation, you need to thank me for being whoever I am that has created the sense of relaxation in you.
Yes. So no one can get offended that they're falling asleep. You're so boring.
They're not boring.
The kid is yawning.
They're providing you with an opportunity to relax.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll never be offended.
So
when
we
my
want to
kids
reframe that whole yawning thing.
Well, I'm so happy you taught me that, because every time I yawn, I'm like, oh my God, thank God I do this by myself, because my mouth and the teeth and the whatever, it's not attractive. But I mean, my eyes tear. I'm not like emotional, like my eyes are tear. But when you're daydreaming, I have a question. So the thoughts that come in your head, like, I'm not talking about like the thoughts from the day. Those you let pass, right? I picture it like NASDAQ, like the channel, like all the little stocks going, the bar on the bottom. So like I pictured my thoughts like that.
Yeah.
But daydreaming, so I don't know, like for me it's like astro traveling. Like I start to speak, like I don't know, I'm having conversations with my dad, or loved ones that passed, or even like
let it happen.
Archangels, God,
let
Jesus.
It happen. There's oftentimes we think sometimes in meditation we have to have a blank screen and nothing is going on. I utilize those daydreams if I'm talking to a loved one that's passed, if I'm getting a great idea. I try to stay conscious. I don't want to like pass out as I'm and fall asleep. But I utilize that stuff for my betterment.
Well, I really believe that I am talking to God, or I am speaking, I'm getting guidance.
You are.
I know. I really believe it, because you're in your subconscious and dimensions don't exist. Time or space doesn't exist. So that's my way of connecting. It's my most exciting moment.
And I think that slowing down, you talked about staying busy on some level to manage your eating disorder, and that's really good. but we also need some time to slow down.
Right.
Slow the pace and allow things to come in.
People think it's really hard to meditate. Like my brother, he's like, I just can't sit there and be. It's not so complicated, you know. It's yes, in the beginning, like I mean, you're being present. It's really hard to sit still, right? It takes me sometimes 45 minutes to get into that position outside on my terrace. But once I am, I listen to like birds or you know, and then 3 minutes later, I'm like, boom, I'm on this Syrian, like some Syrian planet, you know, we're talking to like aliens.
And what
it's
is
amazing.
meditation asking you to do? Michael, can you do nothing for 10 minutes?
That's how
can you just do nothing?
That's how you said it to me. Do you meditate? I'm like, no, I just don't have time. You don't have 10 minutes of your life during the day to meditate? I'm like, I couldn't. I remember I'm like, oh my God, I don't have an excuse. I guess I'll do it. And I never stopped. When I do take breaks, like I get burnt out or whatever, because I would journal and meditate and read, and you have to keep it simple. But I noticed meditation for me, when I don't meditate, it's like I'm unbalanced. Like literally, like my schedule is crazy. I don't get anything done. I'm overly tired. I have no patience. It's helped my sleep at night. And it's helped my my recovery tremendously. You know, things happen. It could be a hangnail, but things like it's very dramatic happen every day. Or it could be like a death or, you know, finances, whatever that's very stressful. When I meditate, I feel this gratitude, you know, for the simple things.
Let me just ask you, because we're getting ready to wrap up, but what are your future goals? What are you looking to be into or get into going forward?
That's a really hard question, because I really take it minute to minute sometimes. But I mean, just really honestly to just be happy.
To be happy.
To be happy, that's it.
You kept it simple. Yeah. I like that answer.
Yeah.
How do people get in touch with you if they want to learn more about you, they want to learn more about eating disorder recovery?
Oh, well, anyone can reach out to me on Instagram. I don't go on it all the time, but I do check once in a while, and I do respond to everybody.
What's your Instagram?
Julianne Weinstein or Jules Weinstein. They'll find me. It's not hard. I think it's Julianne Weinstein. Maybe Julianne Forrest Weinstein. I don't know. They'll find me. And I may not get back to you today, but within the month. I have an account on Cameo. Oh my God, I have to do. Oh my God, it's somebody's birthday. Oh my God, I have to. Someone in LA, but
sometimes those thoughts just come in your head.
Oh my God, I can't believe I have to do this right now in the car. Oh my God, now I remembered. Oh my God, if you're out there and you're listening, I'm so sorry. I'm going to say happy birthday to your boyfriend, and I'll make it really good. Anyway, but yeah, I think my short-term and long-term goal is to be happy. I mean, I can't say. I feel safe. You know, I can't say I want to be a doctor because I did go to school for 7 years, or like I want to be the CEO of Chanel. You know, I think that no matter where I am, if I'm happy, like what more can you ask for?
That's all you can ask for is happiness, acceptance. What else? You know,
content. Just being content.
Contentment. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was great having you here.
Thank you.
I just want people to know that I can be reached at Coach Michael Herbert on Instagram, Recovery Guide on YouTube, and Recovery Guide on Facebook. And
your book.
Oh, I forgot to tell you about my book. I did write a book, and my book. Thank you, Julianne.
Because I'm so proud of you.
For reminding me to remind the audience that I did write a book, The Roadmap to Recovery, a Guide to Freedom and Adventure. Sometimes I forget the title.
You know, before we go, I am so grateful that I have you in my life and as my therapist, but you've impacted me so. That I never forgot you. You know, like there's some therapists there that I don't even remember their names, and you weren't even my main therapist, but you reminded me of Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like just the wise one, and everything that you said, you never like attacked anyone or yelled at anyone like the other therapist. You just made me think, and it was almost like a confrontation because maybe your delivery wasn't like that, but for myself.
See, my delivery was always, in order to be a good parent, I'm not a parent, but to be firm and consistent. And I would just be firm and consistent with it. There's no reason for me to raise my voice.
No, like almost like
But can I also tell you, you were and are a very special person.
Oh.
So I've always remembered you. I've always respected you. And I can even remember times when I've felt protective of you because I knew about the conflict with you and your dad. And you presented at times as powerless over him and how he did things. I also am glad that you've been able to reconcile and see him differently.
Yeah.
But there were big conflicts. And we didn't mention your mother. And I know your mother is an important person in your life, so I want to give your mom some props too. I remember seeing her out in Delray Beach fixing up a house.
She definitely beats to her own drum. We don't have very good communication skills, but I love her so much and I'm mesmerized by, she's the most talented human being ever. I mean, the best tennis player, the best cook, the best artist, and she's so knowledgeable, so smart, so educated, but we just don't communicate.
You get a lot of that from her. You are one of the most creative people I know.
Thank you.
Well,
that also helps me a lot.
Thank you, Mom.
In my recovery, being creative, you spark like a serotonin. When you're just like, I'm doing an art project. I mean, it's not always so good to be busy because I tend to burn myself out, and then I can get into a low space, and then it's very hard to pick yourself up after that.
Sure.
I call them black hole suns, but meditation helps and whatever. Anyway, this is a whole different story. But being creative and doing an art project, fixing things in the house or landscaping or not landscaping, gardening, it's like amazing. I never felt so much joy of like taking care of plants and animals.
I spray your spray all the time.
It's really good.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, it's the intention.
Although the sprayer jams up sometimes.
I know. I noticed that.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I can get you another glass bottle.
Would you please?
But
thank you.
So another thing that's like crystals, like I made that with the intentions of whatever spell I put on, like love and abundance and prosperity and whatever. My intentions were there, so that's why I know that it works. But your intentions have to be that it does work, because
it's the energy.
I was going to say manipulation. It is, but it's manifestation. The power of your words is. I just kind of figured this out, so I have to share because I really think that it's so true. We all have negative thoughts, but thoughts are just thoughts, So if a negative thought comes to me, I'm just like, it's just a thought. Like my daughter got into the plane by herself, and I was like, oh my God, what if the plane crashes? And I'm like, cancel clearly, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to manifest like the plane crash. Like, what's wrong with me? But I'm like, it's just a thought. It doesn't exist. But words are more powerful. Like I used to be like very self-deprecating.
Words and actions.
Yes. But first words start, like
Sure.
Words are before actions. Because like the law of attraction, right? You're supposed to think something, believe it, and do it, and then it happens. But I'm like, like it's a fantasy world, But if I used to be very self-deprecating, so that I don't know, like I just felt, I thought it was good, like to be humble, but like I shouldn't make fun of myself all the time because I'm going to believe it,
And that's not humility, making fun of yourself.
No, it's not being humble. It's making me look, like giving other people an opportunity to agree and then say it behind my back or whatever, but or not be, I used to, I can't think of an example, but changing you can think whatever you want. That's human. Like, we're human. Like, it doesn't matter. You know, like, it's good to be mindful of it and catch yourself, but not to say it, because you'll believe it. Like a stupid thing. When I first moved to my parents' house, and I was Les Miserables, you know, miserable. I didn't have a card, a parents' card, my kids, whatever. I used to go get bagels at the country club. I mean, I'm talking like it's like champagne problems here, but it was, you know, humility. But I had this tree that I thought was so beautiful, and it was like my mother tree, whatever. So weird, but I connected with the tree because of nature. I didn't realize then. But I'm like, one day I'm just going to have I picked red, I don't know why, but I'm going to have a Mercedes, and this is what I did. Though. I don't even know how it would be possible, you know, that I would, but after my father passed away, it's real. Like, my mother sold one of their cars, and then as a gift, just so I can get started, it got me not like the most expensive, you know, but like a really nice car, and I was so grateful. And then 3 years later, I got to buy my own, you know. But anyway, the power of your words. So I couldn't believe that actually happened, and it does. Like, you have to be careful with what you say. You know, I when I'm in my low points, I always tend to say negative things out loud, like, oh, I'm never going to make it. How am I going to do this? And worry, which...
There is no reason to worry, because look where you came from to where you are today.
Right.
You've been making it all along, and you've had all of these lessons along the way. And
it's all about timing. So I had to go through all of that for the experience. You know, there's no such thing as wasted... My mother used to say, you're wasting your time. You're 45 years old. You know, there's no wasted time. It's preparing. You know, there's no regrets, because it's strengthening you to get to where you are now. It's just, I mean, I have more to go, but right now I'm like, I can't, it's a miracle. Like, I can't believe it.
And what I say to people, this saying that I use now pretty regularly, is when opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. So we need to be in a preparation process, because opportunity's coming.
Right.
And we need to be ready for opportunity. We need to be ready for tragedy, because they're all just around the bend. So what are you doing to keep yourself ready and prepared? So we're going to end with that, but I do want to get one more question.
Okay.
How's that honey I gave you?
So my neighbors, they come and they're like, oh, do you have that honey? Like, they put it in their tea, and I'm like, because they believe that it helps them with their allergies, which it totally does, because these are local bees. My mother tried it, and she is so honest, like brutally, like Asperger honest. Like, she'll tell you to your face anything she thinks, but it's like this floral amazingness.
So, because you just said that, I'm going to get you a jar to give to your mother.
No.
Yes.
She doesn't deserve it.
Yes, your mom's going to get a jar of my honey. Yeah.
She would really appreciate it. Yeah. Oh my God. And
Absolutely.
she thinks it's medicinal, and it is.
It is medicinal.
It's a Neosporin.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you.
Great having you. This episode is sponsored by Guardian Recovery. If you or someone you love is struggling with addiction or mental health challenges, Guardian can help. Visit guardianrecovery.com or call 888-721-3790 for confidential support and guidance.